There we go. Excellent. We get started right away. On to day 10. Day 10. Skyscraper. Do I actually need to do anything special on day 10 for the Tiger Dojo? Yes, I do. So we'll be doing that as well. I'm having a bad dream. And your body wants to sleep deeply. But my mind is still buried in that scene and I can't fall into a deep sleep. My still injured body is burning, and my mind cannot mourn enough. It's still burning too. I might be having a nightmare. As I doze off, I see a dream in my unclear mind. How many victims were there? It was like I said nobody died, but that is only from the outside. Having had their life sucked by force, certainly there may be some after effects. Long-term physical disabilities, mental damage from the lack of oxygen. There were even students that had their skin melted. That scar is something that will stay with them for the rest of their lives, even if it heals. My body hurts. My almost dead, no, my absolutely dead body convulses. It was unfortunate for everyone involved, but you still did well. You were able to stop a disaster in exchange for a wound you would normally die from. So there is nothing to mourn or to be ashamed of. The pain tells me, quietly fall asleep for now. No. I can't deceive myself with such reasoning. It makes no difference to the fact that the disaster occurred while I was there, but I couldn't do anything. I say I saved lives, but at the same time I couldn't save anybody. If that was just a mistake, if it had never happened, I bet my mind and my body would go to sleep peacefully. I am pissed off. It's ridiculous for my mind to grumble about such a thing. There are no miracles like that. It's a great insult to want to go back and redo things, just because I think they're inconvenient and disastrous. It's impossible to take something that already happened and make it so that it didn't happen. It's impossible, and more importantly, it shouldn't be done. That's why I can't pretend the event didn't happen. There's only one thing I can do. If I hate the scene I still see even now, I should just act to prevent it from ever happening again. Sleep. Ends here. My body comes later. My body moves, get up and run. No one getting hurt is the ideal I aim for. I should do so until the point of my death. I open my eyes. I take a deep breath and draw in the air into my lungs. The cold winter air takes away my drowsiness and uneasiness. Habit is a great thing. It's only a bit past 6 o'clock. It might feel that the body has healed quite a bit. Well, already, as I'm awake at my usual time. Yes. Alright. I get up and fold the futon. During the normal action, a sharp pain runs through my left arm, as if there's a crack in my bone. Well, of course, there's no way it'd be healed already. But all that's left is this pain. It's much better when I got my stomach slashed by Berserker a few days ago. At that time, my body was so weak that causing the nausea was worse than the pain. I go out into the hallway. The sunlight is gloomy and offers no energy. The weather is very cloudy, like it's going to rain. Shiro, you've awakened? Yeah, I just woke up. You're up early today. You're usually asleep at this time. Yeah, it's unusual for Saber to be awake before breakfast is ready. Shiro, I am not sleeping because I want to. I think I've already told you, but I am sleeping until breakfast to save my magical energy. I wish it would make it sound like I was sleeping in, but I didn't intend to make it sound like that. I was just wondering if it's okay for you to wake up this early. Oh, I see. So you're saying strange for me to wake up early? Saber sounds cranky. Is it just me? It seems Saber is stricter today. Or should I have say she's reserved? No, not strange, but I'm wondering if it's alright. It's my fault. You had to sleep a lot, right? I know that. So shouldn't you be sleeping as long as you possibly can? Of course. But that is only when I am on standby. I was sleeping in anticipation of an emergency. I do not think it is logical for me to sleep in this situation. Isn't it logical? We're not fighting anyone, nor is anyone attacking us right now. No, I mean, that is... Saber is unclear as if there's something she doesn't want to say. Oh well. Not an emergency right now, so you should sleep until we head out. I'll come and get you when breakfast is ready, so save your powers until then. I'm going to need your powers all day. I head towards the kitchen. Hold on, sure. What, is there something else? What did you say when you were going to do? I gasped without realizing. Even though she had asked me a question, Saber glares at me, as if not letting me answer. Your body should rest first. Rin will prepare breakfast. What you should be doing is resting in your room and healing your body. I will not let you claim that you do not understand this fact. Saber. Saber sounds strict because she's concerned about my body. Please return to your room, Shiro. You are the one who needs sleep. She might be able to read my mind as she glares at me even harder. But still, I can't let Shinji go. No, I won't go back to my room. I'm already well rested, and something we have to do. Let's go into town when we're ready, Saber. We have to find Shinji before the day is over. Why is that? There is no reason to find Rider's master before the day is over. If we are going to fight, we should wait until your wounds have healed. It will not be too late then. That's wrong. If you're talking about importance, my body comes later. We don't have any time. You should know what Shinji will do. Or I'm going to separate him from Rider before he puts another bounded field. You won't be able to do anything without a servant. So you are saying you do not want any victims like yesterday. You are fighting for that reason, and not to defeat Rider's master? That's not true. I'll have Shinji take responsibility. It's just we need to defeat Rider for that. And anyway, it's only natural to act and prevent any victims. That's something that comes way before the reason to fight. I see. My master says so, I will only obey. Look for Shinji? I don't mind, but you're saying this because you have some chance of winning, right? After breakfast, Tosaka reacts. As soon as they declare, I can't let Shinji go. You mean a chance of winning against Shinji? Yeah, I'll warn you. But if you tell you were going to go after a master without any hope of winning, I'll laugh at you. Damn it. Now that she says that, I've only thought about stopping Shinji and never about how to do so. Whoa, are you serious, yeah? Laugh at me if you want. Sorry, but that joke isn't funny at all. He reacts like that, she'll make me realize how stupid I am. Saber, your master's like this, but what about you? You don't have any objections to fighting Rider? There should be no problem if I am willing to fight against Rider. I've already gauged her ability. I believe Shiro knows as well. He has actually faced Rider himself after all. Oh yeah, so Shiro knows how strong she is as well. Tosaka inquires with her eyes. She must be asking about Rider's strength. Certainly I have a grasp of it. I don't know. It's because I had contact with a servant or because of my command spell. But even though she's not my servant, if I see her fight, I can put numbers to her abilities. Rider herself wasn't a superior servant. Rider isn't as strong as Saber. I don't think she'll win fighting one-on-one. I see. Then you do have a chance of winning. Shinji isn't a mage, so Rider won't receive support from her master. Inevitably, the fight will be one-on-one with Saber and Rider. Just as like Tosaka says, as long as Shinji is her master, Rider has to fight by herself. There should be no disadvantage for Saber. Why that grave face? Are there any other problems? Yeah. Look, Tosaka. Even though Rider was courted by Saber, who was Sorcerer Superior, she was able to escape with Shinji. I think it was Rider's double phantasm. The arrow of light that trampled through the hallway. A wave of destruction that would surely disintegrate my body without a trace if Saber did knock me aside. If that was Rider's secret move, we can't optimistic even if Rider herself is weak. No, more than not being optimistic, I feel like we shouldn't even challenge her. So that means Rider is a type of noble phantasm superior to her own abilities. So Saber, you should be able to tell what Rider's double phantasm was, right? You should have some idea who was used right in front of you. I am sorry. I am too concentrated on protecting Shiro. I was not able to tell what it was. If I had worried about such a thing, we would have been engulfed by it. Engulfed. What is Rider's Noble Phantasm? Projectile weapon? It was something close to it. Its classification is close to the magic you used. It could have been anti-personal Noble Phantasm, like my sword or Lancer's lance. It's even stranger if it's like my magic. Your magic resistance is godly. No magic in the present day can hurt you. If there's a magic that you have to avoid, that would be... Yes, divine mysteries are nullified by even stronger ones. A divine mystery that can strike through my armor is what you people call sorcery, or a fantastic race with divinity. Sorcery. Are you saying Rider is a mage? No, I did not feel such magical energy from her. She's the class Rider. If it was a mage, it could only be caster. I believe Rider's Noble Phantasm is something else. Tosaka gives a relieved sigh at Saber's answer. I don't quite get it. Saber, is your armor that strong? If you say only sorcery can go through it, then that would make Lancer's Gaebolg a sorcery as well. Yes, Lancer's Gaebolg is certainly a curse, close to sorcery, but really, could you please explain to Shiro? Well, okay, so in short, you're misinterpreting what Saber will get hurt by using sorcery. No, that's not exactly what I meant. I just thought it was amazing if the armor was that strong. Of course it's amazing. Not just Saber, but all servants are heroic spirits. There's the fact that they're spirits, but they can't be hurt by normal means. That's because servants themselves are divine mysteries. The only ones that can physically hurt servants are other servants, heroic spirits like them. So in other words, if a servant was using it, even a paper knife could hurt Saber. That means Saber's armor isn't strong against the servant. Yeah. But Saber herself is skilled in combat, so it's pretty much impossible to hurt her in hand-to-hand combat. The remaining means would be attacking using magic from a distance, but since Saber's an unbelievable magical resistance for a knight, she'll repel most magic. Curses like bad luck won't touch her, and direct intervention like shooting an arrow of magical energy is useless. So if one wishes to defeat Saber, one must fight her head-on. Saber is listening quietly to Tosaka's explanation. She probably is not interrupting because it's all true. Hey, that's cheating. They're attacking with magic because they can't beat her in combat, but if magic is useless against her, what are they supposed to do? That's really unfair. Yeah, but that doesn't mean Saber can never be defeated in combat. Berserker surpasses Saber in strength, Lancer has his fatal lance in combat. As we were just saying, Rider too has a Noble Phantasm that can kill even Saber. So it doesn't mean Saber is perfect. There are ways for us to defeat Saber. We just need to use magic to exceed Saber's magic resistance, or use a weapon she uses, and cut her neck while she's asleep. Servants' weapons are in spirit form like them, so they shouldn't be able to hurt them. It's a scary example, but I understand. Hold on, Tosaka. You can't talk like that in front of Saber herself. I see. Then it must be that Rider's Noble Phantasm is not especially strong, but the Saber went into defense because it was an attack from a servant. Of course not. If Saber couldn't not defense, Rider herself couldn't finish Saber. Rider herself isn't a superior heroic spirit. The Noble Phantasm she uses won't be strong either. Isn't that right, Saber? So Rider's Noble Phantasm is unrelated to her ability, right? Probably. I believe it's an automatic weapon that does not rely on Rider's skill or magical energy, or something that has the effect of a Noble Phantasm itself. Magic or a fantastic race. Either way, the thing released from Magic Circle was overwhelming. I do not think any servant would be able to survive if received a direct blow. Really? How was it level-wise? Putting it your way, I would say it's about an A+. It's just speculation, so I can't be certain. What is that? It's almost the level of sorcery. Well, I'm surprised the school would get blown away if something like that was used. I believe it's not a Noble Phantasm that's simply destroyed. Perhaps a Noble Phantasm that has some other use. I see. But that's a problem. According to Saber, it's beyond the main rank. Intermediate attack power, strongest of all servants. Well, it did seem like a Noble Phantasm superior in both attack and defense, while my Noble Phantasm is more. Saber comments to Tosaka, who goes on into pondering. What is it? Saber doesn't seem to be enjoying this conversation. Saber, is something Tosaka said worrying you? No, that's not correct. Yes, I believe it's inappropriate for a knight to inquire who is the strongest. He's acting suspiciously. Saber mumbles as ashamed of what she's
まあ
saying.
いいけど、
Oh well.
それよりさ、
But weren't you saying
さっき
something
妙
weird
なことを
earlier?
言ってな
Something
かった
about your and Lancer's
セイバー
weapons
と
being
ランサーのは
anti-personnel noble phantasms?
対人宝具ですか。
Anti-personnel noble phantasm.
いえ、
Means what it says.
言葉通りの
My
意味ですが
invisible heir and Lancer's gay bulb are
私
only
の
weapons to
風を
defeat
切
people.
いかに強力な魔
No
力、
matter how strong the magical energy or the curse it wields,
その
it
弱
does
さ
not
が
go
大事
beyond
な
the
域を
level
出
of
るもの
defeating
ではあ
other
り
beings. Well, that is true. Saber's invisible sword is certainly an advantage in battle, but it's only the case of man versus man. There would be a difference in speed, even if you used an invisible sword to chop wood. Lancer's gay bulb is the same. Even if the cursed lance were to strike the heart, if that opponent were a rock or a house, it has no more than a strong lance.
なる
I see.
ほど。
So
だから
that's why it's an
対人
anti-personnel
宝具
noble phantasm.
ならライダー
And
の
Riders
方
noble
が
phantasm is,
大軍宝具って
I would
こと
say
に
it's
な
an
る。
anti-army noble phantasm.
そうい
Come
え
to
ば
think of it,
父さんに
I
聞
heard
い
from
た
my
ことが
father
あ
that
っ
a
た
noble phantasm specialized against
宝具
others,
には
and
大
noble
事に優
phantasm
れたもの
specialized against armies.
簡単に言って
To put it simply, an anti-personnel noble phantasm are guns with unlimited ammo. An anti-army noble phantasm is a one-time missile.
ライダーの宝具は強
Rider's
力
noble
だけど
phantasm is powerful,
その
but
分
it's
使用
not a
にかなり
continuous
の
noble
制限
phantasm
があ
like
るんじゃない
Saber's
かし
sword,
ら。
which is always invisible. Hold on. A gun would be no match for a missile. It's true that Saber's invisible sword is an awesome sword, but it'll be blown away before she could swing it against ridiculous noble
つま
phantasm.
り
So in short,
ライダー
we're
と
gonna fight
戦
her.
うのなら
You're saying we should
宝具
defeat
を
Ryder
使われ
before
る
she
前に
uses her
倒
noble
す
phantasm?
でしょうね。
I would think so.
宝具の打ち
You
合
have
い
no
に
chance
な
of
ったら
winning if it
勝ち目
comes
は
down to
ない
to the noble
ライ
phantasm.
ダーと真珠を探すっていうなら
Remember, if you're going
そ
to
れだ
look
け
for
は
Shinji and
大
Ryder,
前提とし
the
て
biggest requirement is to defeat Ryder before she has a chance to use her noble phantasm.
戦いを長引かせれば長引かせるだけこ
It'll
っちが
be
不利になるから
to your disadvantage if you let the fight last longer.
もしくは
Or you
私
can
が
just
戦ってい
defeat
る間
Ryder's
に
master while I
ラ
am
イダー
fighting.
のマスターを
He has
倒
no
す
means of fighting, so that
あの
might
マスタ
be
ー
more
です
certain. That's the conclusion. We don't know what Ryder's noble phantasm is, and additionally, it is too powerful. As we have no countermeasure, we can only beat her before she has a chance to use it. So whatever noble phantasm the other servants are, we cannot compete in noble phantasms against Ryder.
忠告助かった
Your
よ
advice was helpful,
俺た
Tosaka.
ちは真珠を探し
We'll
に
be
行くけど
to look for Shinji.
Tosaka はどうす
What
る
about you? Will you stay here?
そうね
Yeah,
あな
if you
たた
say
ちが
so,
そう
we
言
can
う
go
な
look
ら
for Shinji as
私た
well,
ちも信
but
じ
I guess we
敵
won't.
はライダーだけじゃない
Ryder
し
isn't our enemy.
私たちはも
We
ともと
originally
バーサ
cooperated to fight
ー
against
白の
Berserker.
真珠を追っている間
I have something I
私
need
は
to do
私
as
でやる
well
ことがあるから
while you guys are looking for Shinji. Tosaka stands up with a cold smile on her face.
それじゃあね
See you.
いい結果を
I
期
will be
待してい
expecting
るわ
good results. Leaving Tosaka at home, I leave with Saber. It's 7:30 in the morning. The hill is really quiet. Students usually go to school at this time, but not many people are around today.
学校は休校だそうですね
I hear the school is closed down
死
temporarily.
者が出なかったと
Even though
はい
nobody
え
died, most of the
大
students
半の
apparently
生徒は
cannot stand up
重
yet.
度の栄養失調みたい
It's
な
like
もんだ
severe
から
malnutrition,
まと
so
も
it
に
should
動
be
けるよう
take
に
a
なる
few
まで
days before they'll be able to
何日
move again. But those are the lucky ones. Transformation of the skin, necrosis, tips of the limbs. I hear reasons in some students on the verge of blindness.
タイガも病院に運ば
I
れ
hear
たと
Taiga
聞き
was
ます
taken to the hospital as well.
見
Is it
舞いに行かずとも
all
いい
right
の
not
で
to
す
go
か
visit her?
シロ
She, yeah.
藤音
They say
は
Fujine
た
is
だ
just
の疲労だ
fatigued.
と
They told me
心配しなく
to
てもい
worry
いか
about
ら
it and study at home. I called Fujibuda House and checked in Fujine's state before I left the house. I would like to visit her, but I should hold off on doing that for now.
では探索に専念するのですね
Then you are
そ
concentrating
れ
on
は
your
いいの
search.
ですが
That is
シロ
fine,
に当て
but
は
do
あ
you
る
have
の
any
で
guesses?
私はサーバン
I
ト
am able
の
to
気
feel
配
the
を読
presence
み
of
取れま
servants,
すが
but that is only
それも
possible
気
if
が
I
つ
am
か
near
なけ
them.
ればわかり
I
ませ
believe
ん
it is difficult to find them without any sort
何か
of clue.
確かに
If Shinji was
シンジ
hiding
が何も
and
せず
not
に
doing
隠れてい
anything,
た場合
it'd be difficult to
探
find.
し出す
But
のは
considering his
難しいだろう
personality, I don't think he'll stay quiet after that incident yesterday. Shinji's not the type to stop when he's beaten. He's the kind of guy that'll take revenge.
では
Then you were saying
ライ
Ryder's
ダーのマ
master
スター
would be
は
constructing another bounded
間
field?
違いなく
No doubt. Like me, he can't provide magical energy for
あ
his
いつは
servant.
サーバントに魔
If
力
he
を
wants
提供
revenge
でき
on
ない
us, he'll have to collect magical energy first.
見つけ出すのは
So it
そう
shouldn't be
難
that
しい
difficult to
ライ
find
ダー
him.
のマスターを探すの
So
で
we're
は
not
な
looking
く
for Ryder's master, but for the bounded field. Yeah,
マスターの感
even
知
if
は
we
できな
can't
くて
perceive
も
the master,
あれだけ
we
の
can
結果
sense
に
the
なら
bounded
近づ
field
け
if
ば
we
わ
get
か
near
る
it.
それ
And
に
that will tell us
場所
possible
も特定
locations
でき
as
る
well.
大きな建物で
We just need to look for a large buildings where lots of people gather.
驚いた
I am surprised. You are thinking pretty well, Shiro.
俺だって考え
Hey
出しっ
now,
てわ
it's
け
not
じゃ
like
ない
I'm
ぞ
not thinking, you know.
探し出せる
I
自
wouldn't
信
say
がなか
something
ったら
that if I
こんな
wasn't
ことは
confident
い
about
らん
finding. Yes, I'm confident. There's a matter of the bounded field, but there's more meaning in us walking around. Just as I can't leave Shinji alone, I bet Shinji doesn't intend to let us go either. Just to be sure, I went to Shinji's house. I have Saber check the presence for Ryder. The result is negative. Wow, it's not the type of guy who would be resting at home. Let's go. Shinji's going to construct it on the field. Be in Shinto, not over here. Let's go to each of the office buildings. That's all I have to say, but I leave the mother house. Is that all, Shiro? This is Sakura's house. Do you not want to talk to her since you were here? I believe we have time for that. I'm certainly worried about Sakura. According to Tosaka, Sakura was just weakened. Fortunately, she didn't have any external wounds. If I can, I want to see her take care of her since she has been always taking care of me, but I don't think I will. I can't get her involved in this war by going to see her before things are over. And most of all, I can't go and see Sakura if I'm to fight Sakura's brother soon. Where it comes to worse, I'll have to kill Shinji. I'll never be able to face her. So I shouldn't leave any lingering affections. I think that's the best course I can take, but I also believe it is for Sakura's best as well. We go to every building we spot. We went through all the larger ones first, but there's no findings yet. Rather than sweat off my brow, I move my heavy limbs. Trying to calm my breathing, I stand for a while and take a deep breath. Shiro, is there something wrong? Shiro, please come this way. Let's wait for the park. There are still some buildings we haven't checked. Please wait on that matter. This takes priority right now. Something must have caught her attention. She speaks strictly of pulling them into the park. Hold on, Saber. What are you doing? Coming here, nothing here. You should know that. It's fine, so please sit down on that bench. I will listen to you later. Stared down by Saber, I reluctantly sit down on the bench. And then I almost faint. Huh? I held my foot with one hand. My forehead is sweating, my breath is out of control, even I'm sitting down. Hold on. Why am I sweating in the middle of winter? That's strange. Was I this tired? As I ask myself that, I finally realize the state of my body. I'm not tired. This is just my unhealed wound aching. Ridiculous. No matter how deep the breath, I can't catch my breath. My body is heavy and my legs refuse to stand up. It seems you have finally realized the condition you are in, Shiro. Saber is angry. It's only natural. It does no good when one is suggested the idea of searching for Shinji. It's just resting on a bench. Sorry. I'll move again soon, so just wait a bit. That is not what I am concerned about. It seems it is useless to say anything to you. I understand that Saber is angry. I understand, but I don't quite get what she's so angry about. You have to be clearer, or I won't get what you want to say. There is no need to tell you if you do not understand. Please just rest here. I will keep you company if you do not wish to rest alone. Saying that, Saber sits next to me. The bench isn't that large. Saber is sitting so close that I could touch her shoulder if I leaned over a bit. Hold on, Saber. We don't have time to rest. We didn't come here to play and we did not come here to play. Resting is part of battle. If you have any complaints, please tell me after you catch that breath of yours. I catch my breath, but my body is tired and I can't breathe properly. But if you're this close, my heart starts jumping and... Shiro, are you listening to me? You've been pushing your body all this time, so please relax and calm down. Your body will not rest if you are not calm. Well, so... She wants me to be calm, why doesn't she get away from me? I don't know what Saber thinks, but for me, she's a girl around my age. Well, she's actually younger, but she's a girl nonetheless. Well, actually, she's a bit older, she just kind of stopped aging. On top of that, she's unrealistically beautiful. I don't know what kind of guy would be able to calm down with her next to him. Shiro, is it just me, or do you look more pale? Andrew, I'm not disturbed at all. Well, that's good. But it seems you should lie down. Perhaps there's some space to rest around you. Saber looks around. Hey. Why is there a guy using his lover's thighs as a pillow in this desolate park? And it seems Saber's looking at the couple and thinking. Sure.
気
You
分
don't
は
mind,
大
please
丈
don't.
夫、おとなしくしてればすぐに
I'll calm down if I stay
余計
still.
な心配はしなくていい
Don't worry too much.
しなくていいから
You don't
当
have
分
to
ほっと
worry,
いて
so
くれ
ignore me for a while. Looking away from Saber, I close my eyes so I won't see her. Calm down. Try to ignore Saber, who's sitting right next to me. All I have to do now is keep breathing deeply in. The fire died down after one night. Red fiery walls were gone. There was a burnt field around me. The blackened woods were smoldering with the sounds of sparkling. As I lay there, thinking, sounds like a small firework. The sky starts to cloud up. It would rain soon, and the fire should soon stop. But looking up blankly at the sky with a body that was even having difficulty breathing, there were only burned corpses around me. I had burns all over my body, and there was a bad burn across my chest. My open chest. I feel like I could grab my heart if I put my fingers into the inflamed chest. Okay, now to think about it. I didn't fall because I was tired. My numb body wasn't kind enough to be able to just rest because it was tired. I fell because I think my wound made me unable to move my arms or legs. So I was manly and did not panic. I knew I would not be saved, and I wasn't scared because everyone around me had died the same way. I just looked up at the clouding sky and watched myself as I grew thinner. But still, with my dazed consciousness, I thought I could seek help as long as I was alive and reached out my hands. Wait, something's weird. I should remember a burning feeling in my chest. I wake up suddenly, open my shirt and check my body. Yeah, there's no scar at all. There's no scar on my chest. I almost died lack of oxygen from the burn, after all. I didn't have any fatal wounds. If I had taken something like that, I bet even Kiritsugu wouldn't have been able to save me. No more important. Well, it's not already. Was I asleep, Saber?
はい
Yes.
よく
You
眠
seem to
っ
be
ている
sleeping
ようでした
deeply,
の
so I
で
did
起こ
not
しま
wake
せ
you
んで
up.
したがその
It
会
seems
話
the
あったよ
result
うで
is
す
working.
ね
You look much better than
先ほ
before.
人が
You're
悪い
mean.
な
If it was
眠
bad,
りした俺が悪いにしても
you should have
起こ
spoken
して
me
くれ
up.
てもよかったじゃないか
I told you we'd have no time for to be resting.
休息は必要な行為
Resting
で
is
す
necessary action.
それ
And
に
you
シ
were
ロ
only
が眠っ
sleeping
てい
for
た
an
の
hour.
は
This
5
should
時
not
間
be a problem.
そりゃ結果論だ
That's only in
俺が起き
hindsight
なかった
opinion.
らどうするつもりだったんだよ
What were you going to do if I didn't
そう
wake
で
up?
すね
Let me see.
あまり変わりはな
It
い
would
で
not have
しょ
been
う
too different. The day has ended.
日が
And
落
it
ちて
was
寒
starting
く
to
な
get
ってき
cold.
ましたから
I was about to wake you up. This is no good. No matter how I think about it, she's right in this case.
まあ確かに
Well, I certainly do feel much better. I get up from the bench and start to walk through the field. There's no trace of the field that came before. No trace when it used to be a residential district. Nor any trace when it was red burning water. It kind of irritates me that in spite of that, I saw that after image just by sleeping here.
シロ
Sure. Is there a problem?
あいや
Oh no.
どうせ休むなら
I just thought we
別の場所にするべ
I've
きだっ
rested
たな
somewhere else. As if we were going to
嫌な
rest.
思い出がありす
There
ぎ
are too
る
many bad memories here.
嫌な思い出
Bad memories. You have some connection with this place.
そ
I
っか
must not tell you yet. I used to live here. 10 years ago, though.
俺
But there was a
昔
big
は
fire
こ
and
の
both
辺
my
りに住んで
parents.
たんだ
My house burned up. I was saved by
10年前の
Kiritsugu
話
and
だけど
became his foster child.
で
And
も
you are.
キリツ
That
グの
means
実
I'm
の
not
子供っ
Kiritsugu's
てわけ
child.
じゃないそ
But
れ
I
に
guess I'm not completely
聖杯戦
unrelated to
争
the
と
Holy
の
Grail War
中
either.
ここが前回の
I heard that
戦
this
いの
place was the final battleground
最
of the
後の
last
場所
war.
だってのは聞いてるよ
The one person who
そこで
survived
生き残
became
っ
a
た俺
master.
がマスターになるん
Though
だ
I
から
guess you could call it kind of
Kinect to-
ironic. I walked through the field. It's been 10 years since that happened. But it seems that the ground isn't fertile at all. Maybe the regret of dying people has seeped into this land.
シロ
Jiro, is
あ
that
なた
why
が
you
犠
seek
牲
to
者を
prevent
出
any
すまい
victims?
あなた自身が
Since
聖
you are
杯
a
戦
victim
争
of the
の
Holy
犠牲
Grail
者
War,
だから
you do
こ
not
そ
want another victim like
自
yourself.
分
That's... Now that she mentions it, maybe that's logical. Strangely, I've never thought about it like that.
どうだろ
I don't know.
うセイバーの
What
言
you're
うこと
saying
は
is
もっと
true,
もだ
but
け
I
ど
think it's a simpler.
10年前さ
I was just
こ
happy
こで
when
キリツグ
Kiritsugu
に助けら
saved
れた
me
時
that 10 years
は
ago.
ただ嬉しかった
It was something else. So maybe I admired him and wanted to be like him. That's right. Just happy at that time. I can't put into words the emotion I felt when my request for help was granted. But at the same time, the happier I was, the guiltier I felt.
自分だけ願いが
But
叶
I
えられ
didn't
た
feel
って
at
のは
ease
居心
because
地が
I
悪
was
か
the
った
one saved. I
俺
was
は
saved by
親
my
父に助け
father,
られたけど
but no one
他の
else
人た
was
ちは
saved and ended up like this. Everyone wished for help, and I was the one who received it. Only I was saved, and I was saved with the sacrifice of everyone else. So Emi Ashiro must take responsibility
け
for
ど
it.
まあ起きてしまったことは
But
戻
there's
し
no
ようがな
way
い
to
から
take something. It's already
死
happened.
んでいった人たちに報い
If
た
I
い
want
な
retribution for those
せ
that
めて
died,
こ
I
れ
should
からの
prevent
こ
it,
とを防ぐべ
what
きだ
is to come.
10年前のような惨事は
I
起こ
won't
させな
allow
い
a disaster like the one from 10 years
ま
ago
た
to
あんなことに
repeat
なったら
itself.
それこそ
I couldn't face the victims
奇
if that
跡
happened.
まあ俺の理由
Well,
なんてそ
I
の
think
程
the
度のものだ
motive is something like that. More importantly, we should continue searching for Shinji. I feel better, so we should go to the buildings we haven't searched yet. And there'll be fewer people around at night. If Shinji wants to attack us, now would be a perfect time. We're going to make ourselves a decoy. The real deal starts
行こう
now.
かセイバ
Let's go, Saber.
ーとりあえず
Let's
オ
go
フィ
back
ス
to the
街
office district for now.
セイバ
Saber, did you forget something?
いえ
No. I just remembered what happened this morning.
体の傷を治してから
When
ラ
I
イバ
said
ーの
we
マ
should
スター
go
を
and
探
look
す
for
べき
Ryder's
だと言った
master, you
私
healed
に
your wound. You told me that the order of points was wrong. Maybe I said that. I don't remember the
シロ
details.
は昨日も
You
同
said the
じ
same thing
言葉を
yesterday.
口にした
I felt it for a while, but I became confident about it then.
あなたには
That you
自
have no
分を
intention of
助けようと
saving
する気が
yourself.
ない
As if, even stating the fact is a crime, she stares at me and declares so.
あなたは自身より他
You
人
are
を優
putting
先
others
してい
ahead
る
of yourself. That is
それは立派
admirable,
ですが
but you will regret it
そ
someday
れで
if
は
you
あなた
continue
は
like that.
シロはもっと
You should value yourself
自分を
more, Shiro. Saber walks past me.
行きましょう
Let us go.
確かに
You're certainly
ここ
putting
に
a
いては
burden
あなた
on
に
you
負担を
by being here. Saber starts walking towards the office district. Try to call out to her, but I can't in the end.
何を
What are you saying? Those words die in my throat. It can't be that I intend to save myself. It can't be true, but for some reason I cannot refuse her rude. We walk through the town. It's past 8 o'clock. At this time, when the station gets more crowded, Saber and I stare at the map of the city.
主だった建物は回
We
り
have
ました
gone around
ね
most of the main buildings. Are there any other places to go? Let's see.
少し
There's
離
a
れたと
factory a
こ
little
ろに
while
工場
away.
があ
We
る
should look there since
あそ
people
こも
gather
人
there
が集
as
まる場所
well.
だから調べておか
I
ないと
don't think the factory is Shinji's style, though. Even as I answer, it's hard to look at Saber. Must be because the conversation earlier is still affecting me. Since Saber is acting like she doesn't care, it bothers me even more.
そういうセイバ
How
ー
about
の
you,
方はど
Saber?
うだ
Do you feel Ryder's presence?
いえ感じませ
No,
ん
I do not. I fought
彼
her
女とは
once.
一度戦ってい
I
ます
should
か
be
ら
able to perceive her if she's nearby. A strange feeling pierces my heart. A wave of magical energy that even I can feel. There's no way Saber can't feel that.
シロ
Shiro,
言
I
うま
believe
で
you
も
do
ない
not
と
need to
思う
say
ので
this,
す
but
分かってる
I know. Are they near
い
Saber?
え
No. I do not
ま
think
だ
they're
そこまで
that
の距
close
離で
yet.
はないようです
That they are certainly watching.
ですが
This magical
確実に
energy
見られてい
probably
る
to provoke us. They are watching us. That means they finally fell the decoy. They are emitting magical energy so obviously they must be trying to tempt us. So,
この
is this Ryder's presence? My mind switches. The awkwardness from before disappears.
魔力をたどります
I shall follow the
注意
magical
して
energy.
ください
Please be
ま
careful, Master. I nod sadly. The murderous intent stinging in my skin is coming from the office district empty of people. Maybe no one is working overtime today all days. Most of the lights and buildings called the symbol of Shinto have already disappeared. Not many people are walking through the roads, and the view isn't that bad. No one looks suspicious, and if Shinji is anywhere, he'd be ahead of us. Perhaps the park we were just in. The murderous intent is getting stronger. There's no mistake that an enemy is nearby. No, more like I feel a chill run down my spine. This is the murderous intent that even I can tell. Perhaps we are already in the range of the enemy. Watch out, Saber. Something is strange.
え
Yes,
えシロの
your
感
senses
覚
are
は正
correct.
しい
I do not think they will attack
こ
us
の
out
よ
in
う
the
に人
open.
目のある場
We
所で
should
スパ
still be careful. Nodding silently, we head to the park. I'll ignore the oppressive pressure. It feels like a knife stuck in my neck. Ryder and Shinji are nowhere in the office district. They are going to attack. It will be in the park where nobody will see.
シロ
Shiro,
セイバー
Saber. I turn to Saber. She rushes at me like lightning and deflects the attack over my head. I look up. In my sight is a large building towering overhead of reach of the heavens, and clinging on its side is a spider. It's the figure of a man. Long hair covering the whole body, flexible white limbs. The figure with the masked face is none other than the sword rider. The figure clinging to the fifth floor looks at me and licks her lips. Feel a freezing chill. There's no mistake. She came down from the top of the building to kill me using my overhead blind spot. Saber lands on the ground. Saber, who jumped above me to deflect the attack, has instantly armed herself. Saber, she's... Oh, follow her. Please stay here, Shiro. How are you going to follow her? She kicks off the ground. She disappears from my vision for an instant, but Ryder comes down from the top of the building. It's ridiculous. Like Saber pursuing her just by jumping. No. Perhaps because they are servants. Normal logic does not apply to them. Like Ryder, Saber kicks the side of the building and charges at Ryder like lightning. The two shadows intersect at great speed. They clash overhead and separate, and then kick off the building and clash again. It's like watching fighter aircrafts dogfight. Let's just save real quick. I will need it later. We will follow Saber. I can't just watch. Perhaps it's because of the battle with no footholds. Saber's unable to overwhelm Ryder like before. Two conflict move slowly towards the rooftop. Ryder came from the rooftop. Chances are that Shinji is there. There are two conditions to fighting Ryder. Beating Ryder before she has a chance to use a noble phantom, or get Shinji before that. Since Saber's fighting Ryder, there's only one thing I can do. Interlude 10-1. Fate. The two shadows running up. The ground is already far away, and clashes occur at higher and higher altitudes. Two need no footholds as they fly higher by kicking off the walls of the building. In the process, in the instant that takes to move onto the rooftop, they clash numerous times. If there are anyone watching them from the ground, they think it looks like pinball. But then again, they cannot be perceived with the naked eye. Only their tracks are barely visible, and the circus of death invisible to any normal beings. But this circus is not what Saber wanted. Even if she is a servant, she cannot fly through the sky. She can run up a wall, but that's it. This is no different from freefall. It is just the difference between rising until she loses her speed rather than falling. So the expression falling into the sky isn't that far off. Since she has started, she has continued to her final destination, the rooftop. If she takes any blows from her opponent in the process, she will fall miserably to the ground. But those rules do not apply to the opponent Saber has to defeat. A trace of purple attacks Saber, who is heading to the rooftop. Attacking from both sides, from above, or from every direction, Ryder is not bound by gravity. Her long hair sways at the comet's tail, and her figure is a snake encircling a tree. Saber's feet touch the building. Filling her body to the side, she kicks off the building, to head around to its side. Saber's path is heading directly towards the rooftop, changes directions perpendicularly. The flow of attacks go away. Ryder cannot match Saber's instantaneous bursts. Saber shakes right off with one kick and reaches to the side of the building and kicks upwards again, up to the rooftop this time. If Ryder is a snake wrapped around the building, Saber's almost an exploding firework. Or maybe Ryder expected even that. The distance between the two does not change. Ryder does not let Saber get away as she runs to the side, attacks in the opening Saber's kick off the building. She flicks Ryder away with her sword and jumps into the open area. There's a limit to how much she can block Ryder's attacks in the air. Skills that were not even a match before are finally matched in this battlefield. There are no decisive blows in this battle. No, Ryder herself is avoiding them most of all. When Saber jumps at Ryder with determination, Ryder only defends, only to show no intention of countering. Ryder's just keeping Saber in check as she runs up the rooftop. You are armed ready to fight, Ryder. Saber yells at her cowardly opponent. As a knight, this kind of fight is an insult. A battle determines victor by changing blows with full force. According to that belief, Ryder's behavior is only an insult. It seems you do not like high places, Saber. Ryder only replies in a cool voice, and she says Saber's inexperienced in air battles. One could say this is her first time she has engaged in such a battle. For all, a knight runs on the ground. They are not the type to stick to walls like the woman in front of Saber. Your famous sword is useless here, right? But do not worry, as I will allow you comfort soon. Ryder moves higher as if to tempt Saber. She is deliberately constructing this situation. Saber acknowledges that as well. the final stop to the circus. Ryder's ideal position must await at that point. Ryder's trump card can't be used readily. That is why she's luring her enemy somewhere where nothing can interrupt her, as she will determine to settle this match with her strongest blow. If Saber continues to the rooftop, she will be in trouble. If Ryder's Noble Phantom is something Saber believes, there is no way to defend against it. But there is no turning back now. She cannot let Ryder or Ryder's master lead. Not because of the principle of the Holy Grail War to defeat one's enemies. Saber must defeat Ryder right here to protect her master. Because it cannot be helped. Saber herself is amazing. That she has thought, at least once, that she does not want to push her honest master. To gain altitude, continuing their momentum clashes, the battle is about to reach its final destination. Interlude out.
なんだって40回
Why
ま
does
で
it
しか
only go
動
up
い
to
て
the
ないんだ
40th floor? Run up the stairs and go out cursing. Even though I've entered the building through the back door, the elevator didn't go to the rooftop. I've up the remaining 10 floors on my own feet. I run up the stairs at full speed. I don't know how long it's been since Saber left me. I don't think it's been 10 minutes yet, but that's still too long. Nobody knows what can end a battle. Saber isn't perfect. It's possible that she could have made a big mistake and be cornered in big trouble. So before that happens, if I find Shiji, make him use up his command spell, there should be no need for fight against Ryder. My body aches the more I run up the stairs. Running around the building up the stairs has me run out of breath. But I don't slow down, but rather speed up. I have a bad feeling. I don't know why I feel it, but my heart is in pain. It's not a pain of my body, just something that tells me of danger. Saber cannot win. On the rooftop is something that must not be confronted. Trying to shake off its bad feeling, I continue up to the stairs at full speed. The wind is strong. As far as I can open the door, the scenery of the night town surrounds me. The concrete ground is burned up here and there. Ooh. It's like an iron plate from a barbecue making sizzling sounds. In the center, in the middle of the burned up rooftop, is a figure. Down on her knees. Saber! Shiro, why are you here? Saber has nothing to spare, breathing with her shoulders. The instant I try to run her, I notice something strange floating up in the sky. No. The overnight magical energy forced me to recognize it. Well, I stare up at the sky. The sound of wings flapping. There's something whiter than the hazy white moon. It is a legendary divine mystery spoken of only in myths. Alright, we got a status screen update from Ryder. Already had that earlier. Divinity, E-. She has some divinity, but it has mostly degenerated. Divinity decreases as the hero's rank as a devil or demonic beast increases. And I don't think anything from Saber got updated either. And the instant Saber reaches the rooftop, she confronted the true form of her opponent. Supporting her falling body with her sword, Saber looks up. The white light approaches instantly. Deploying the wind wrapped around her sword, she creates an invisible wall. Her body is blown away. That which should have nullified the possible impact did not even slow the charge of the Pegasus. Blown away, she rolls onto the ground. There is no time to lie down. The Pegasus turns in the air, continues its glide without pause. She cannot block that blow. The only possible measure is to jump and evade it. But if she does avoid the attack, the trail enough to chip at her protection. She will eventually take a direct blow if she continues like this. The white light comes swooping down. The Pegasus flies down from high above, mows Saber down without touching the rooftop, and returns to the sky. Pursuit is impossible. There's no wall to run up. Even if there were one, no one would be able to catch that Pegasus. In that inferior position, Saber waits for a chance to counter. Even if it is a Pegasus, if it's alive, it can be killed. Chance for victory has as Ryder mistake with the Pegasus's reins.
驚きました
I'm surprised. You're tougher than you look. A voice from above. Saber looks up, holding her sword ready.
ですが
But
それ
is there
に
any
意味
meaning
は
to
あり
that?
ますか
You have no chance of victory.
あなたには
If you are
勝
going
ち
to
目などない
disappear with grace. Ryder sounds calm. A little joy can be heard in that voice. I
幻
expected
想
a
者だとは
fantastic
睨んで
race,
いましたが
but I did not think he
まさ
would
か
bring
そん
out
なも
something
のを持
like
ち出
that
して
from
くると
Ryder.
は思いま
Fantastic race. As it sounds, they are beings that only exist in fantasy. Demi-humans like sprites or giants. Demonic beasts like demons and dragons. The very existence is a divine mystery. It is said that they themselves surpass magic. It is law that a divine mystery will be eliminated by a greater divine mystery. As magic stored its power in knowledge, fantastic races store their power in their long lifespan. Even if one masters magic as a human, that is only about 500 years. For those who lived since ancient times, 500 years old, divine mystery is not even worthy competition. But it was long ago before humans and fantastic race lived in the same world. The longer lived fantastic race is, the farther it strays from this world. In the present day, the only fantastic race in the world are a mere few hundred years old. And that is why she thought the fantastic race Ryder road would only be about several hundred.
信頼のものを持ち出すと
Bringing
は
out something from the time of the
随分
gods,
と業が
your
深いようで
deeds
すね
must have been
え
profound.
え
I am different from you.
私はあなたたちとは
I
違う
am rather like your enemy.
むしろ
That is what
あなた
I
たち
only
の敵
rode
だっ
the
たもの
poor
に過
children
ぎ
that your people have exterminated.
なるほど
I see. I
歪
thought
ん
you
で
were
いる
crooked.
とは思いました
Now
が
that I see you,
英霊ではなく
now
悪
that I
鬼
know
の
you
類
were
でし
an
た
evil
か
spirit,
あなた
not a
は
heroic spirit. Curse me all you want,
Say,
you cannot
Norona-san.
even touch my boy. Pegasus rests his wings in the air. Giant arrow that will strike if it sees an opening. Saber ponders, glaring at it. Pegasus itself is not a strong, fantastic race. A normal Pegasus only grow to the class of demonic beast of that of the fantastic race. In that case, it is an opponent defeatable just with her invisible lair. But that thing is different. As that Pegasus existed from the time of the gods, it has grown to the level of fantastic beasts. That Pegasus is nearing the level of a dragon race, considered to be the strongest of the fantastic races. No, its defense is already at the level of the draconic race. Because the Pegasus' divine protection exceeds even Saber, who has the strongest magic resistance. Its charge, emitting vast amounts of magical energy, is like a giant castle wall approaching. There is no possible way to dodge or defend such a thing. But in this surprising fact, that Pegasus is something Ryder has summoned, and does not even have a true name. The Ryder, that Pegasus, is just like the dagger she uses. In other words, that Black Cavalry has yet to use her noble phantasm. Saber does not think of defeat, even in this situation. Ryder thinks of her chance will come when Saber decides to use her noble phantasm. No matter what Ryder's noble phantasm may be, there's no problem if it's not only strong enough to destroy this building. Saber only needs to go on into defense, endure the attack, and slash away at the defenseless Ryder. That's right, as long as her master does not appear here. Look up at the sky. The sounds of wings fluttering. There's something whiter than the hazy white moon. It is a legendary divine mystery spoken only of Indians. Pegasus, an enemy of Ryder's noble phantasm. Is that what caused the scorching rooftop and Saber to her knees? Ryder, riding on a flying horse that befits her class name. I take my mind off of Ryder. Shinji, you are here, right? Come out. I cannot tell how strong Ryder is on the Pegasus. I can only tell the White Beast is constructed more magical energy to have more than a few hundred magi. It's only natural for the rooftop to be scorched. That thing destroys its surroundings just by running. If that's the thing in the sky, there's no way Saber could block it. Don't hide. I came here, so at least show yourself. I'm racing against time here. Ryder's noble phantasm has already been used. So I Last resort, defeating Shinji and eliminating Rider. I hear laughter. Shinji must be hiding somewhere. Shinji. Do you get it, Emiya? This is the difference in our powers. Only his voice echoes. Calming the impatient mind, I listen to his laughter. Damn, the wind is strong. I can't. Laughter is coming. Too bad. You ended up like this because you were acting so calm and composed, you idiot. Do you understand now? You have to kill when you can. Shinji. Don't rush. Let him talk. I should be able to determine his location if he keeps talking. But I'm different. You and your servant are done for right here. Though, it's not like we're strangers. It's a thing from yesterday too, so I'll let you die a painless death. This is bad. The head of the Pegasus is standing by, and the sky lowers to saber. His royal magical energy rotates as if without limit. That thing is going to come at full speed. This rooftop will be blown away, leaving no remains. Don't worry, Emiya. You got in the way, but I'll have the idiots at school follow you in no time. If you say you're lonely, I'll let that annoying Sakura follow you as well. Shinji. Go, Rider. That girl first. Don't leave even a piece of her behind. Saber. The white shooting star falls from above. I ignore the instant I run to Saber. In that instant, a storm appears before me. Saber! What? For the first time, she forgot during battle. Angry at her master for coming to such a dangerous place, angry at herself for not realizing that this was likely. But all those ideas were driven in the back of her mind. What else could there be? In this dangerous situation, his expression only worried about safety. Shiro. Come to think of it, he has always been like that. Even though he knew she was an excellent knight, he did not treat her as a knight even once. It seems playtime is over, Saber. Rider places her hands on the Pegasus' neck and makes its beat wings even faster. As my old Phantom is powerful, it's not fit for use on the ground. It will draw attention no matter. I cannot use it readily, as there are still other masters to think of. But there is no mass danger for anyone watching here. You understand? I let it to because it is convenient. Something missing until now forms until Rider's hand. A mere small rain of shining gold. That is your noble phantasm, Rider. Yes, but it is not my taste. This Pegasus is too kind and not fit for battle, so we will not get in the mood unless I use this. Pegasus lowers its neck. Pegasus rages, not from its own intentions, but from Rider's. Disappear, safe. Even if you survive, your master will not be able to escape. Your master dies, that is the end. It is not. That is absolutely true. Rider's noble phantasm will completely blow away this rooftop. If she hurries, she will be able to get Shiro and get away from this rooftop. Rider's attack won't just destroy the rooftop. Her master is not strong enough to survive the collapsing building. So for Saber to protect her master, he has to slay the enemy along with the princess. He has no time to decide if her choice was the correct one. Looks at the distant master one more time. He is gritting his teeth, trying to fulfill his role. Wind. That just makes her hesitation go away. She forgets about everything. Future. She is only her master's sword now, and exists to defeat the enemy. Go, Rider! A knowing voice shouts out. As it does, the Pegasus flies up even higher. It disappears from view in an instant. The Pegasus flew up. The air has already lost its form. After rising to the striking the moon, it arcs and returns to the earth. Comet swoops down. Even after becoming an arrow of light, Rider still pushes the Pegasus. There is only one target. It will destroy the enemy along the isolated garden in the sky. Lauro. The name is cast. The noble phantasm bears the miracle that is released by casting its true name. And if that miracle does not occur in this world, spawn. It is truly divine light. A flashing thunderbolt. Watching it, her eyes show no emotion. You said no one will see this place, did you not, Rider? The wind is unraveled. When centered on her place, raging tempest. I feel the same way. Here, there's no need about destroying the earth. The seal is broken, releasing many layers of wind. Her sword makes its appearance. A storm is rising before my eyes. The white light comes bearing down. Even though she is charging, Saber does not move. Saber? The raging wind is coming from her. No, not from Saber, but the sword she is holding. Down my eyes, I can see the sword that should be invisible. Slowly taking off its bend, the sword starts to show itself. Golden sword? Raging winds. Many seals develop as it blocks opening. The wind melts into the air. Readying the exposed sword, she faces the descending Pegasus. Ryder descends to the surge of light. Bellerophon grows large to engulf the whole rooftop and speeds up to destroy not only us, but the building itself. The rains of heroic cavalry light up the rooftop. Time stops. Facing unavoidable destruction, my mind freezes in blood. Not because of the rains of heroic cavalry. The converging lights, its purity not even comparable to the light of riders nearly large. In her hands is an assembly of the planet's light, the strongest holy sword. It is literally a line of light. It is a blade of light that slices everything it touches. It slices Ryder with one blow, soars into the night sky, cuts through the clouds and disappears. I think, if that's the thing we use on the ground, the greatest sorter in the land would remain, never disappear. Her sword is not invisible. It merely did not allow others to see it. A golden sword that captivates all who see it. It is all too famous true name, Excalibur. Said existed in England is the sword of the king known as a symbol of knighthood. The strongest noble phantasm of Thol's servants, sealed in numerous bounded fields. That is Saber's hero heroics. The rooftop is silent. The wind is gone, nothing makes a sound. I can't approach Saber and I just stand there. I don't know if I'm still confused or if my heart is still captivated by that sword. My mind is acting strange, but insignificant things come to my head. Why does she have that sword? My golden sword was property of a known king of knights. I try to think she ended up with the sword, and I notice I'm quite the simplest of all answers. There's no need for complicated guesses. That sword has always been hers. That's why her true name is easy to figure out. I don't know. Mistake is made. There's only one person she can be if she holds that holy sword. Saber does not move from the stance that completed her blow. I should run to embody one room. Up until now, I only understood the words that Saber was a heroic spirit. Perhaps I realized that she was a hero from the past, something different from me, and I hesitate to go near her. I hear a scream. Something is burning in the background. Who's there? I look in that direction. There, I see a book. It's burning. My command spell is burning. Shinji is there, watching the burning book. Shinji! He must have realized the rider's defeated. He's at disadvantage. Shinji turns back to me and flee, runs toward the exit. Shinji jumps through the door leading to the stairs. Stop, Shinji! I can't let him go. But the instant I try to follow him, out of the corner of my eye, Saber collapses. My mind freezes. Shinji is running away and Saber is on the ground. Okay, first things first, we go to the status menu! Because we got a few new things. We got 1, Bellerophon. Reigns of Heroic Cavalry. All abilities are increases in rank and in use. AC plus 100 will also be in effect. It is a physical attack that destroys the target by controlling a divine beast and using its powerful charge. Suppose the maximum speed of 400 or 500 kilometers per hour. It is a noble phantasm of the highest level, both attack and defense, as defense also increases while in use of the Pegasus' divine protection. Bellerophon is the name of a young man in Greek mythology who supposedly managed to ride Pegasus. Saber. As at least Excalibur's been added. Excalibur, the sword of promised victory, the sword of light, is not a weapon made by man, but a divine weapon forged by the planet. It is a noble phantasm that is greatest of all holy swords. It transforms the possessor's magical energy into light, which increases the kinetic energy by converting and accelerating it. It allows for the usage of sorcery on the level of divine spirits. To an observer, it looks like a giant beam of light, but its target point is the tip. It is the ultimate slash that cuts through everything in the area of light goes through. Its enormous power heats up the space around the tip, and as a result, be interpreted as a wave of light that moves across the earth. You could say it is a directed energy weapon. And yes, that does mean we're going to run to Saber. I can't leave Saber alone. Ryder is gone. Both the whole command spells is burned. Shinji doesn't have a servant anymore. He's lost his command spells as well. I can call the match settled. The priority right now is Saber. I run to her. The golden sword isn't in her hands anymore. It has disappeared, only Saber herself remains, but Saber doesn't look well at all. She has sweat on her brow. Her breathing is weak, yet irregular, as if she has a fever. Oh, hey Saber, what's wrong? I call out her timidly, but I get no answer. She is unconscious. Saber. I touch her forehead. Ow. I put my hand back. It's unusually hot. If this is a fever, she's over 40 degrees. Saber, are you alright? Even as I call out her only reply is heavy breathing. I don't care what the hell's going on. I don't know, but we can't just stay here like this. I'm going to take you home. You want to object, do it later. Pick up Saber. She's light. She was light before, but she's lighter now. No, more than that, she's warm. She's alive. Saber is still Saber. I'm angry at myself for hesitating. Damn it. So what if she's a hero? No matter who Saber is, she's here right now and she's warm. How stupid of me. I think there's a wall between us in spite of that. I'm going home right away. Stay still until then, Saber. I run, still holding Saber in my arms. There's no feeling of victory. All I can feel is Saber in my arms, breathing painfully. I'm done. I let her sleep in the Japanese style, but I don't think she'll be wake up anytime soon. Sorry. You really helped me out. There's nothing I could have done to treat Saber. Well, I just removed her armor and helped her relax. So don't think you need to thank me. Saber won't get well, and I haven't done anything. Still, having Tosaka around helped. She was the one that yelled at me when I came home in a panic about what to do. She worked out Saber's situation and advised me to take her armor off and let her sleep. It's been an hour since then. Somehow communicating with the unconscious Saber, Tosaka took her armor off. So what happened? I thought you went out looking for Shinji and Saber would like that. I could tell that something happened. Can you explain the details? I hesitate. Saber's noble phantasm. I should avoid revealing her true name. It's not something I can reveal by my judgment. Ryder was defeated. Shinji losing his command spell. Saber used her noble phantasm and collapsed after using it. Saber's noble phantasm. Huh? Tosaka falls into meaningful silence. She's Tosaka, so she's probably able to tell it was no ordinary matter. Well, I won't ask you for details. You guys are in no condition for that sort of thing. What do you mean we're in no condition? It's just like I said. You should keep vaguely now that Saber will disappear like this. Calmly, Tosaka mentions that the result I have avoided. I mean, Saber will just... Of course, Saber's magical energy is almost empty. But I don't know what kind of phantasm Saber used, but it must have consumed a lot of magical energy. Saber has used most of the magical energy. She's in pain because she's trying to keep herself from disappearing. She's going to disappear because I don't have... Are you going to say she's disappeared even though she wasn't injured? Yes, depletion of magical energy is a more serious problem than external damage for a servant. It's magical energy that gives spiritual servants form. She will just disappear if it runs out. Well, Master transmits the magical energy to the servant. It doesn't happen. But you can't do that, right? So Saber has to fight using her own magical energy. It's over once that runs out. I told you this at the beginning. That's certainly what Saber told me. But she was fine until now. Saber said she'd be alright if she slept. That was because Saber's magical energy capacity was extraordinary. Saber certainly has some magical energy left in her. I think she should be able to recover enough magical energy to preserve herself. But that's it. Saber will end up fighting the situation. It would be absurd to use Animal Phantasm in such a state to begin with. Saber will definitely disappear if she uses it again. Should it disappear if she uses no Phantasm again? No, first of all, I can't let her fight in this state. I don't want to see her slumped over in pain.
理解できた？
Do you understand now?
結局
There are only two ways to
セー
heal
バ
a
ーを以前の状
servant
態に
who's
戻
run
す
out of
と
magical
マ
energy.
スターがサーバン
To
ト
have
に
master
魔力を
replenish
提
magical
供す
energy,
るか
or to have a servant collect magical
Servant.
energy herself. If a servant collect magical energy herself, that would mean killing innocent people like Ryder.
まさか
That's impossible.
セイバー
Saber
はそんな
won't
こと
do
は
that.
しない
To herself, that she
Saber.
won't do such a thing.
でしょうね。
I would
一
think so.
般人を犠
Saber
牲
will
にする
probably
ぐ
choose
ら
to
いなら
disappear if she
セイバーが
sacrifices
塞
innocent
ぐなら
people.
方法は一つだ
But
け
there's
よ。
only one of them.
セ
You
イバ
don't
ーを
want Saber
消
to
したく
disappear.
ないのなら
You'll have to
あな
offer
た
her
が
your magical
それ
energy.
は
That's something I
で
would
き
have
るけ
done
ど
already if I
俺
could.
は魔力を提供
But
す
I
る
don't
方
know
法
any
なん
way
て
of
知ら
giving
ない
Saber magical energy. Fortunately, I can't do anything.
まあ
You
ね。共有の魔
you
術
wouldn't
を
make.
教えてあげて
Like,
も
even
間
if I
に合わ
taught
な
you
い。
how to share magical
シ
energy,
ロは魔術師に向いてないから
it would take
覚
you
える
about
の
a
に
year
1
to
年ぐらい
learn
かかるだろう
since
し
you're not suitable as
覚え
Magus.
たところで使えないわ。
And you wouldn't be able to use it even if you learned it.
まあ召喚時に
A
セイバー
patch
と
should
パ
be
スは取っ
connected
てる
with
はずだか
something,
らま
so
だ
there
他
might
に
be
方
other measures. Tosaka ponders, but that is only for a moment. Tosaka looks at me with an expression suppressing her emotions.
いい
Look,
セイバーを
want to
助
save
けたい
Saber,
の
all
な
you
ら
could do is make her
彼
attack.
女自身に人を
absorb their
それ
souls.
はあなたにも
I
わ
think you already know this. That is the most realistic measure. But that means,
もちろんセイバーは
Saber
嫌が
will
る
of
でし
course
ょ
object to
け
it.
ど放
But
って
if
おけば
things
遅
be,
かれ
Saber
早
will
かれセイバー
disappear,
は
you will
消
be
えて
targeted by other masters. Saber will disappear. Can't even imagine that's a thing. I can still feel her body heat in my hands while we were carrying her.
なら答えは一つ
There's
よ
only one answer.
レイジを使いな
Use
さ
your
い
command spell.
レミヤクそれで
You should be able to
最悪
avoid
の
the
事
worst
態
case
を
scenario with that. That means ordering Saber to kill innocent people. We can't say anything. We resemble Tosaka is saying, but at the same time, another part of me recognizes that this is the only solution.
決断はあなたに任せ
I'll
るわ
let you decide. Saber will calm
セイバー
down
は
as she
眠ら
sleeps.
せておけば
Her
落ち
limit is
着く
near.
決断をするなら次に襲われるま
If
で
you're going to
ね
make a decision, make one by the time we get attacked. Tosaka leaves the living room. I can't even look up. I can only listen to Tosaka departing footsteps. "11. Dragon Slay. Alright, with this one, we're going to go to this one first rather than the assault. Because we have a different one to do. Okay, get that one set. We've already read this, so I'm just going to go through it. Quick. Okay, this is for the really hard Tiger Dojo. That's an absolute nightmare. Which is basically just do the exact same thing we did before. Except at the very end, we choose to fight Shinji. Skip, skip. I have to follow Saber. Skip, skip. Follow Shinji. Shinji comes first. If Saber defeated Ryder, I have to catch Shinji and have him relinquish his status as a master. High-pitched footsteps in the dark. Battle Shinji flees through the dark hallways. Damn, what's with that woman? How can so ridiculous that Ryder's the defendant is strong. So why does she have to lose? She's just Saber. So why does she have such a ridiculous advantage? It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. Rolling to the ground, clashing against the wall, crawling on the ground. Battle Shinji heads for the ground level. In his mind, the image of the light that slashed Ryder will not fade. Exactly as he says, that noble phantasm is an abnormal existence. The holy sword that appears divine to its allies looks like a devil's creation from the opposing viewpoint. So he runs through the darkness. That light will come if he stops. He will vanish without a trace if he turns around. There's no time to pause. He puts more weight on his life than on the fact that he has lost a servant or the fact that he isn't a master anymore. Damn. What was that about her noble phantasm being invincible? That woman all talk. How could she trick? You were defeated because you were too confident, you idiot. But those were Mado Shinji's orders. Not to kill them quickly. Ignoring Ryder's advice that they should kill them with one blow if they used their noble phantasm, he chose to corner Saber. Another tumble. Even though he's out of the darkness, he hits a huge wall. Man, don't put a wall somewhere like this. He punches it in anger. It's an unlikely sound to be made. Mado Shinji looks at a wall, but at his arm, bent like a punch, and Even he forgets to scream because of the fear.
ダメよ
You can't do that, Mr. Maggot of Makiri. There is no running away for a loser. Laughter fills the air. In the tense darkness, a silver-haired white girl appears. The moment of recognition. The instant he realizes what's in front of him, Mato Shinji is terminated. I run through the dark hallway. I can't see, but I'm able to follow Shinji, because there's no other sounds. Shinji's footsteps echo through the hallway, so it's easy to follow him. His footsteps stops. A sudden change. Sound was nearby. There's still since the elevator. As far as I remember, there's no reason for Shinji to stop in the middle of the hallway. Shinji. I walk quietly advanced. I see the change quickly. The spot where Shinji's footsteps died. In the hallway, there was an empty rooftop. There's a red puddle. My mind freezes. Before I can happen here, my body reacts. I can't be here. My senses trained by Saber telling me to go back to the rooftop as fast as possible if I valued my life. I went towards Saber. Well at all. And this is the same as what was said. Remove the read-only. Go here, hit the read-only, so I'm not accidentally overwriting it. This is the one. I have to wait here and stand by. Like an idiot. I'll just stay here. Rub to the side, back in any way. A human cannot participate in the battle between serpents. There's nothing I can do. I can only trust Saber's words and wait here. 60 minutes pass. After a short blank period, intersecting sparks way above me. Top. Mid the roof. Sure matters to follow Saber's figure. The silver and black light stop even once and disappears a few hundred meters later. Height. What should I do? Should I go in the building and run to the rooftop? On the side of the building. If it's the rooftop on firm ground, I should be able to. What? A bright light emanated from the rooftop, not just once. It repeats in rapid succession. That being Rider's Noble Phantom. So Saber has no chance of winning. Not letting Saber use her Noble Phantom wasn't the main requirement for Saber to win. Damn, Saber. Indecision. Gritting my teeth and running into the building. This is the same. Ground shakes. 50-story building shakes up. Like could be Rider's Noble Phantom. One more floor to the rooftop. Like an ominous presentiment. I run to the door. Inside, I feel hot. My burning heat after burn my face brushes. What the hell happened here? Concrete ground burned up. Dry air but not blue. Saber. Saber has collapsed, as if empty from energy. Saber, are you alright, Saber? He's still breathing. Saber is unconscious, breathing heavily. He's wounded really bad. Saber. Ryder is nowhere to be seen. So leaving the process aside, the result is clear. If Ryder was still here, she wouldn't let Saber go, as weakened as she is. So the survivor, the victorious one, is Saber. Ryder was defeated, and Saber must have lost consciousness in exchange for that. Hold on. I'll take you. I'm gonna have to look at you. I held Saber in my arm. Amazed at her lightness. I wonder. Is it a later day? No. No. A letter to the Jack.
それで
それが
詳しく知り
This is the same thing we've been to before.
ええ
I'm going to skip a little bit because we've been through most of this. It's morning. Day starts without me getting any sleep. I haven't woken up yet.
でも
Her face looks better. Yeah, I'm just going to skip most of that because actually we're going to read all that later. But basically, we get taken over. This is the Tiger Treasure, place of relaxation and refreshment that help those suffering an unreasonable death. Liz. Who are you? I didn't call for an aid.
さっさと弟子一号を連れて
Me, I say this too. No, Ilia is
リ
resting.
リアはお休
She
み
seems depressed at the moment.
むむむ
How unreasonable. Killing your own
勝手に殺しとい
convenience
て勝手に落ち込む
and
と
being
は
depressed at your own convenience.
だがそれがいい
Well, that's good.
私
I
も
want to go to the
豪
Gorgeous
勢なお城
Castle
と
as
か
well, yeah.
それは
Well, putting that aside,
あんた本当
who
に
are
誰
you? You're drawn differently from us.
リーゼリット
Dizzy. I'm a friend of Ilia's and her substitute
う
today.
ーん
Oh,
リリ
Ilia-chan
ア
has friend, huh?
どんな関係なの
So what kind of relationship do you have with her? Straight man or foil? Crime and punishment? No. Like I look after
い
her.
えいいとこ
I
の
knew
お
the
嬢
kid
さ
was
ん
rich
だと
family,
思う
but she's this rich?
うわ
Yeah, Arne-chan won't permit such a thing.
なんたること
Anyway, this battle results in Shiro being a coward.
直前の選択肢に戻
Go back to the previous choice.
ちょっと
Do the
戦い
whole
の行方を
do the whole
そ
battle.
うね
Yes. I don't think Ilia is happy with this result.
不愛想か
I
と
thought you
思
were
えば
blunt.
何
It
気
seems
に
you're
話
pretty
は分
understanding.
かるとみたい
Good. I shall give you a tiger stamp.
ティーゲル
Oh, tiger. Thank
いえいえ
No,
どういたしま
you.
し
You
て
are thank you welcome.
それじゃあまた
See ya. Let's meet in the
次は
battle.
もっとマシな
Better den next time. I don't really want to skip a lot of text, but I will skip text that is, I deem, inappropriate for viewing because it's spoilers. Okay. So we shall delete that one. So we have our load, and then we have this one. Okay, so some quick things. Weapon list. We now actually have more in the weapon list. Our status has been relatively updated. As a fun fact, actually, this status will actually correspond to all of them. So it doesn't matter really which route you do, basically the status will continue to update. Which is actually really neat. So if you forget about something in existence, you can go look about it. We'll continue to next time. It'll be fun, I know it, because more Fate Stay Night, more reading, more good stuff. Alrighty.